So hello and welcome back guys to another video, and today we have the finale of the Simzone Championship. As you see, qualifying in P9 with my teammate in P8. I think we dropped by one position in the end. I messed up my qualifying lap. I had about 3/10 in the final corner of my best lap and messed it up, so I had a lot more pace. So the main focus for the race was to make up as many positions as we can. As you see, my teammate Lucian just up there on the left, starting P8. So coming up into the first corner now, let's see what we can do. We're on the right hand side, so a fairly good line for the first corner. Porsche and Audi straight out, 2 free positions before we even start. The Audi lost it on the exit just as she came over the top of Arouge, and then just took the Porsche with him. And then up in front, one of the GTWR esports drivers, that Honda, got spun round by that Audi, so that was another 2 free positions. Then side by side with my teammate through here, about to get past him, and then I'm not sure if there was a little bit of lag or what here, but we had a bit of contact there, which completely put me off, and I went really deep, so just let my teammate through, because I knew he had a few more tent space than I did. But that did mean that we went up to my teammate up into 4th and me up into P5 after starting P6 and P9, so that was a really good start for the both of us. And then I just had Tamas there, and I was just going to try and defend if I could, because it would help Luciano's championship out if he finished ahead. But coming into the chicane of the first lap, I completely mess up my braking zone, and that does allow Tamas to get the line around the outside, which is what you want if you're trying to get an overtake after the chicane. He's got that good line, he's got the inside into turn 1. Now what I do is I go for a cutback, because as you see it seems like he brakes late, but he holds his brake right where the acceleration point is. Where he was still braking is where I would be on the throttle. So I had no idea that he was still going to be on the brakes there, and just went into the back of him, but tried to avoid it and ended up hitting the wall as well. Very frustrating, because that left me with about 4 seconds of damage for the rest of the race. Now with about 53 minutes in, Tamas has passed Luciano as well. Tamas had a bit more pace than both of us. I think as we get into the race, I think about 10 minutes, maybe 20 minutes later, Luciano and Tamas both catch up to the Porsche and have a big battle for P3, which you can see in the official stream, the links down below. Unfortunately though, it was not a very clean battle. The Porsche was a bit desperate to hold on to the position, and it was not a very clean battle. But about 13 minutes into the race, we've got a 4-second gap from the car behind us, 5-second gap to the car in front of us, so we're just driving no man's land, trying not to make any mistakes and just get a bit more pace, because I was a lot slower than what I was in practice. So that's probably a combination of my driving and also a bit of the damage. So I was just trying to push and get a bit more pace. Coming in for the pit stop window though, get a very nice stop, as you see, right up on the jacks. So didn't lose any time in the pit stop, which was great. Although the GTWR driver, who started the race I believe in 2nd or 3rd, he was incredibly quick with his race pace, and he came out in front of us after the pit stops. Not Tamas, the Honda had come out in front of us. There he is, a few laps later. So we did lose a position to him over the pit stops, but his pace was, I think, around 8/10 or so quicker a lap. So he had much better pace than I did this race. So my main focus now was, because the Porsche, Tamas and my teammate were all battling for that 3rd place, my main goal was to try and catch up to this, try and stay with this Honda and just try and follow him, so we could both try and catch the cars up in front. But now look up in front of us. Bam! Honda straight off the road. Really unlucky race for him, getting spun out on the first lap. Fantastic recovery, and then a bit on a Rouge, really unfortunate. Did give us a free position though, so I wasn't complaining, but was unfortunate because it was a great recovery drive. But if you look at the delta now, you'll notice that the gap between me and my teammate has dropped quite significantly, Now I believe at this point they kind of stopped battling as much. The Porsche and Audi still were, but my teammate Luciano had started dropping back because he had 3 track limit warnings and he did not want to get a drive-through penalty in the final like 15 minutes, so he just backed off a bit. So I was catching my teammate about 8/10 to a second a lap, so I was pushing to catch him and then had this big mistake here very nearly into the wall. Thankfully I'm able to correct it, but I was also then on 3 track limit warnings, so I decided there's only 2 minutes left of the race, I'll just back off and take it easy now, because I was pushing just to see how close I could get to my teammate before the end. But it was still a very good finale, but it was still a good result overall for the finale. P5 and P6, considering we started P8 and P9. Good recovery after messing up qualifying. I was quite happy to get up to P6. Definitely wish I had a bit more pace and didn't get the damage at the start, but still a good result overall. And now let's have a look at the championship results. So Luciano got P4 in the championship, I got P7. We had a lot more pace at the end of the championship than we did at the start, so I think if we were used to the Audi at the start of the championship and had that same pace, we would both be a bit higher up, but still a good championship. And thanks to Simzone for putting on the championship. It was great fun, and now we look forward to the next championship. As always guys, thanks for watching, see you again next time.